Hello, you Malty. Meticulously mannered. Yeah, Malt Mates. That's you. Meticulously mannered. And thank you to Ron W1361 for that malt mention. Much appreciated, Ron. Here we go. This is Ralphie Review 1039 extras. Extra content, extra perspective, extra opinion, extra whiskey related stuff. And my subject for this video is Fèisill. Fèisill is the Islay annual whisky festival. It's been running for quite a number of years now. And in the early days, it had a great reputation for letting people really access distilleries and get to see the inner workings of the business with the people who actually made whisky and taste their way through some really, really good samples. And this is where Fèisill built its reputation, because Islay is beautiful. It's not too difficult to access compared to, say, Lewis Harris or Tiree, for example. It's a low-lying island, very green, not too hilly and mountainous in most of its area, and of course it has the benefit of a significant concentration of singular and interesting distilleries, including, amongst others, but not all, Bowmore, Bruichladdich, Lagavulin, Laphroaig. You know, that's just a few. And the one thing you definitely say about Islay is you don't confuse the whiskies. Unlike Speyside, where you can confuse some of the whisky brands, because they have generally a similar style, the blending style. So you can confuse a Knockando with a Knockdo. That can be done. Or a Tam na Bhullen with a, well, Tullybarden, although that's in Highlands, not in Speyside. But you get where I'm coming from here. There's a lot of character and signature in Islay. And so long as you've got transport, or a nominated driver, or a bicycle and a bit of patience, and the weather's in your favour, so it's not raining, you can have a really pleasant experience just going round between the distilleries. But of course, it grew more popular more recently. And as a result, it's become more intense. It's become a little bit more hectic. There's been more events arranged on Islay in conjunction with the Fèisill Festival from outside. So restaurants will be taken over for whisky tastings. You'll have auctioneers over who are buying off the Fèisill exclusive bottlings, which have had very mixed reviews, certainly in recent years. But people are queuing for hours, just in an ordinary queue, queuing up for hours, paying several £100s for whiskies, some of which have had very dubious tasting notes. So unfortunately, it is certainly rightly perceived that there are times that some of the distilleries, not all, but some of the distilleries have been taking advantage and plundering the purses of their loyal festival attendees. Now, there's nothing unique about that. If you go to Glastonbury or some of the pop and music festivals, exactly the same thing's happening there. But the thing is, this isn't a music festival. This is a internationally recognised single malt Scotch whisky festival, and as such there should be certain standards. Excuse me a second. Rightio, but Fluffy, I'm busy recording. Can you see that? Can you see I'm recording? Look, can you see I'm recording? That camera there. Now, tell you what, come here, you little brat. Don't give us your tantrums. Right? I know you're after treats, you'll get treats in a minute. Give me scratches. You settle down a bit. He's not as even-natured as his big brother, little Fluffy. he's more of a diva. Well, very much. They'd just gone, not even waited for treats or nothing. That was just purely theatrics, right? He knows what he's doing. Yeah, hop it. Yeah, you know where the door, you know where the exit is. Use it. Fèis Seal. Veterans of Fèis Seal will say that things have changed quite a bit in more recent years. It's become a little bit more cynical. And when you see the quality of some of the bottlings in relation to the price coming from the distilleries, I think some are making a very major reputational mistake in not bottling and being seen to bottle some really decent stuff at accessible prices, because every distillery can do that. And furthermore, it tends to be Bruichladdich, which is the island's biggest employing distillery, which tends to make the most effort on putting on a special day for the visitors. They go above and beyond compared to the other distilleries. With other distilleries, their actual connectivity with festival goers is really limited, and I'm talking about Lagavulin here. In fact, it's embarrassingly so. And this is really down to Diageo, the owners of the distillery. And I think it's very telling that when you look at the stock market value of Diageo over the last few years, it's been steadily going downhill as investors lose confidence in Diageo as a company worth investing in. And I think there's very good reason for that. And there's increasing evidence that the investors are justified in their opinion. But, you know, it's worth, particularly a public listed company, it's worth seeing what the analysts have to say about it, because it lets you understand the internal mindset and way of working that these companies engage in. And I think it's so unfortunate that when you have Lagavulin, which is a strategically very important distillery on Islay, we can only use our imagination to guess how much better it would be if Springbank owned the distillery. Now, you totally get where I'm coming from here. But let's move back to Fèis Seal itself. Generally, people enjoy themselves visiting. However, it's worth just doing a search engine search, any search engine, and put in Fèis Seal reviews and see what comes back. Because there has been a few question marks over that festival. And it's also very telling that perhaps things are getting a bit jaded around Fèis Seal. People's expectations of what it should be are not being met. And furthermore, they're going to other festivals like the Campbelltown Festival, which is a significantly growing event. And also recently, here in 2024, you had the first Fife Whisky Festival, which, from the feedback I've been getting, has been very, very well received, because it's in its embryonic stages, it's still in its infancy, and therefore it was the true enthusiast who was aware of it and actually attended. And to mark the occasion, the distilleries involved, including Glendora's, Daftmill and Kingsbarns, put on some really good, worthwhile bottlings. So I really think it would be worth the Fèis Seal committee having a good think about their strategy into the future, because whisky festivals are enormously important to sustaining the reputation of Scotch whisky, particularly single malt whisky, at a moment in time when people are most definitely tightening their belt straps and spending less money, at the same time as some producers are putting up their prices for, fair play, some decent whisky. But there's this new thing creeping in with Scotch whisky. that if it's a really good, competent bottling, which everyone should be, then there's going to be a significant jumped up premium for it because it's special. Now, my comeback in this is every damn bottling should be special because that's what made Scotch whisky's reputation in the first place. And time will tell, but I can already see the writings on the wall here. Scotch whisky is going into a downturn. There are more affordable options elsewhere, along with the unaffordable ones. But what's sustaining enthusiasm in Scotch whisky is there are enough distilleries who are sticking with the tradition and playing a long hand game. Isle of Arran, Glencadam, Deanston, Bonahaben, and you're seeing really interesting bottles coming from young distilleries. I've recently reviewed an excellent bottling from Kingsbarns. I will be reviewing something from Lindora's later this year. Absolutely, because these whiskies are coming of age. And as I've mentioned, it's worth mentioning again, I think it's the small distilleries, not the big distilleries, it's the small ones that are going to carry Scotch whisky's reputation forward, so long as they don't let their prices get out of control. And I'm going to conclude. Now leave this is food for thought now. Are you not wondering, if you're a real enthusiast, a real Scotch whisky enthusiast, and you've got a little bit of insider background information, and you know that the warehouses are getting filled up to the gunnels, that's the top level, from the floor level, with casks filled with new make spirit. Well, who's going to buy all this whisky? And the fact is that the whisky industry is crossing its fingers till they are numb that there will be a conclusion to the UK-India trade deal, which has already been getting negotiated for over 4 years. And things aren't looking so hot, to be honest. Speaking to some Indian friends who are involved in the civil service, and who are involved in strategic planning as regards Indian businesses, there is definitely a little bit of carelessness in negotiation skill sets coming from the British side of the negotiators in trying to remove or even reduce significantly the tariffs on Scotch whisky entering into the Indian whisky market, which is now the biggest whisky market in the world, if you could have open access to it. And I think, in my personal opinion, that access will exist in a small, restricted window. It will not be open access because the legacy of the British Raj and imperialism is still very, very fresh in the mind of the Indian nation, as well it should be. And, we are all judged by our actions. And it doesn't matter whether it was yesterday, last year, or in the last 100 years. Actions have consequences. And I do not think for 1 minute Britain's going to get the trade deal that it's looking for, and it certainly doesn't deserve it. So perhaps the big companies, all the whisky companies, should maybe invest a little bit more energy in cultivating reasonably and sensibly the informed customer with a simple equation: good quality, good price, happy customer, successful sale. It's not rocket science. That's what it is. And see the whisky festivals. So much more could be done with the whisky festivals to make them more innovative and exciting and engaging. For example, that the distilleries have a treasure hunt. Every distillery starts to leave clues around the distillery so people can have a wander around, pick up on the clues, go cache hunting. With the app, right? Here we are, we've got these hidden around. Collect so many points, get your reward in the shop. It could be a cream scone and a cup of tea, or you never know. It might be something a lot more substantial than that. A nice, very nice bottle of whiskey at a price that any seasoned maltster could not possibly refuse. Now that would be exciting. However, time will tell. I'm Ralphie. I am concluding my overview of Fish Ale. If you're planning to go, I wish you luck. I won't be there. I have no intention of ever being on Islay during Fish Ale. Absolutely not. Never. No chance. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.